So since my last video, Christmas has been and gone. The Defender, I'm not going to show you too much, but is now in storage. So I no longer have it at home. So let's investigate this issue a little bit further. So you saw in a previous video about how it was blowing fuses, and that's possibly the relays. I have now got the fuse to put in there, leaving the main relay in. Turn the ignition on. See, temperature gauge is still going to hot, but the fuse is still okay. If we now fit this relay, you can clearly hear and see that it straight away blew the fuse. So I have downloaded a wiring diagram, and I believe, as I was previously told, that is for the fuel pump. So I had a TD5 Discovery which ended up needing a fuel pump, which I believe there was a hatch in the floor, but a Defender, I believe the floor is whole. There is no access to the tank, which means dropping the tank. But it looks like somebody has already been in there before and cut a hatch to access the tank, because the tank is right there. So next port of call is to take that hatch off, unplug the fuel pump, refit another fuse and the relay, and see if it still blows. We take this connector off to disconnect the pump. However, it doesn't come off. We can then replace the fuse and turn the ignition on and see if it still blows. If it blows, then it's obviously not the pump. How do you come up? Ah, there we go. There we go. So we've now isolated the pump. So if there is still an issue with the fuse blowing, it's obviously not the pump. But if the fuse still stays good, it's obviously a short in the pump. So now put a new fuse in. Let's turn the ignition on. That's a bit concerning how the temperature gauge is still going up. Bearing in mind the pump is disconnected, so I'm not holding out a lot of hope here. Let's get the relay. Ooh. So no signs of the fuse blowing, but the temperature gauge it's gone down. Seem to have a bit of a dicky connection here somewhere. I've got no power, which I have. Mine has got an isolator switch under here. It's got an isolator switch underneath the passenger seat to isolate the battery, which seems to be giving a bit of a problem. So let's have a look. So I've just pulled the passenger seat out, as this isolator I thought was being a bit dicky. It doesn't seem to work properly, and that's obviously isolating the ground. So I'll have a look and see if we can bypass it. Where does it go? It's a bit nasty, isn't it? So I'll have a look at putting that ring terminal directly back on the battery, and then that will cut that out completely, and hopefully we'll have a bit more luck. So I have now removed the isolator switch out of the system and put the ground direct onto the battery. I believe a previous owner had a battery drain at one point, which is why they put that isolator in, although while I've owned it I've never had a problem. So let's in. Oh, ignition's on. I have a glow plug light. We do not have a hot temperature gauge. Relays are in. And if we can zoom in, the fuse is still intact. So it's looking very much like it's the pump, which is a result. Let's just try, just to confirm. If we plug that back in, has it blown the fuse? No. How very odd. Now that's very strange, because for the first time I can actually hear the pump running. So right, turn it on. I don't believe it. After all that hassle, it appears to be that isolator, which is sticky, not giving it a good ground. What a result.